or patience? Here we go. Swagoo, Russell Wilson and the Broncos are 0-2. Panic or patience?
I'm going to be patient, man. I actually like what I saw out of Denver the first half. This team scored 21 points in the first half. I know Russ had the fumble and some things went awry, but this defense in Denver is the issue. Like, I see a lot of things that I like about this offense. Russ hit a couple of deep shots. They got Javonte Williams going. He hit a crosser to Jerry Jeudy for a touchdown as well. And I know Russell is the easiest target in the NFL. Let's watch him make a bad play, and let's act like that bad play is the reason they lost the game. I think I'm going to have patience.
Jeff, Saturday, the Patriots are 0-2 for the first time in forever. Panic or patience?
I'm panicking, and let me just make sure I set this up. I'm panicking because the expectations for the Patriots, because of how good they've been, is always Super Bowl or contending for it. They are not going to contend with their offense. They don't have explosive plays, and that is a dangerous place to be in the NFL in these days. They're going to play good defense, great special teams, but at some point, Mac Jones and the receiving corps is going to have to push the ball. Hunter Henry can't be your biggest threat. I'm panicking.
Neek, the Jets, panic or patience?
I mean, all we've been doing is panicking. what I look like coming in and saying something is absolute panic. And I think the one thing that we knew we could trust from the Jets was great defense, and we haven't had that. And it gets really scary when people turning off their Twitters and putting up football emojis. All these suggestive things make it even more uncomfortable. So it is panic time in New York.
Well, if it's panic, then we turn to the expression desperate times call for desperate measures. There is a former football player, Kyle Rudolph, excuse me, is the name I'm looking for, the former Vikings tight end, Kyle Rudolph.
Hang in there, G.
Who said...
He's stressed.
Hang in there, big
He's
dog.
already maxed. He's already maxed out. 2 weeks in, he's maxed out.
That literally never happens.
Yeah, this man is the best host ever.
Kyle Rudolph says Minnesota should be taking calls about his former quarterback, Kirk Cousins.
If you're the New York Jets, you pick up the phone, you call the Minnesota Vikings. I think it's worth the conversation. Kirk certainly is a guy, as you look across the NFL, from a starting quarterback standpoint, that would give you a great chance to go win enough games to get in the playoffs and play football in January.
Yes! That's what I've been saying for a week now. Why is Kmart shaking her head at me?
Well, number one, Kmart was the one who brought up Kirk Cousins when a certain Swagoo was mentioning Taylor Heineke and Jacoby Brissett. That was me. But I also then checked in. The Jets haven't called the Vikings. As of last week, they haven't reached out about Kirk Cousins. And
It is a starter.
It's only 2 weeks.
But here, right, fair. But think about where the Jets are, what their mindset has been from the beginning. They were not looking at any other veteran guys. It was Aaron Rodgers or bust. Now they have Zach Wilson. You mentioned guys like Jacoby Brissett and Taylor Heineke. They don't know what they have in Zach Wilson yet. He's on the whether you believe in Zach Wilson or not, he's on the roster still for a reason. They believe in the talent. And when we've seen Zach Wilson be protected, he's been efficient. Like, let's not act like he's a scrub.
Listen, yes, I'm sorry.
Okay.
We talk about Zach Wilson the way you talk about like a 5-year-old playing basketball. Like, oh, look, the shot went in. Like it's a stunner. When he makes one good play, you're like, oh, look at that, he completed a pass.
It's true.
When there's no one near him, he somehow manages to be. We have to stop pretending that we are where we are not.
Keep in mind. I think because fans are in panic mode, it's like, do something.
Right.
But we have talked about Kirk Cousins for a long time. Only now when it's like the Jets seem to have nothing are people saying, well, Kirk Cousins can win you a Super Bowl. We were literally having conversations last season about Kirk Cousins no one thinking Kirk Cousins is that great.
He isn't that great.
But if you're look at where we're at. Like, the Jets don't have any great options, and Kirk Cousins literally has a no trade clause.
Right.
He came here, used the Jets for leverage, and then went to Minnesota. So I understand why Jets fans think it makes sense. But organizationally, they are not there yet after 2 games.
Of course not. But if the Vikings are 2-5, I've gone over their schedule daily.
Of course.
If they are, they could easily be 2-5. They have to take the call, right? He's not going to be their quarterback next year.
No, and the thing is, like, I ruled it out because I was like, the Vikings have a chance to actually do something in the NFC this year, so you don't want to give him away on his last year when he may have a chance to win. But when you think about them, the setting up for the future. And they got a $100 million deal they got to do with Justin Jefferson at some point.
Right.
Vikings, right.
So, the Vikings. So if you can get a young quarterback with a lot of talent, coupled with a lot of guys, you could pay a lot of guys, build this roster out. We've seen that move. But here's the thing with the Jets, man. And I come here, G, and I try to be nice to you, man.
Right.
Because listen, K-Moore, I can't handle it no more. I can't handle you saying we don't know what Zach Wilson is. I don't understand it. What we know Zach Wilson to be is based on what we've seen Zach Wilson do. That ain't good. That ain't good enough to get you to where you're trying to be. Zach Wilson, we talk about this defense in New York. Let me tell you what happens to defenses, and Foxy knows this as well. The more we're on the field, the more we're exposed.
Absolutely.
I don't care how good we are
Fact.
and what people think we got on that side of the ball. If we get up around 65, 70 plays a game, we're going to give up 30 points.
Yeah.
That's just, these dudes are too good in this league for you to say, we're going to come win it on defense. You just manage the game. You have to score points in this league
What
to
option?
win.
You make a great point. What quarterback option out there you think will look good behind this offensive line coming into this situation, having to learn the playbook on the fly with this team? Who do you think will look good?
I think Taylor Heineke attributes can help this offense move the football.
Let me just say this for 1 second about the Kirk Cousins. So Kirk Cousins, since he's been in Minnesota, or since 2020, they've had the 29th ranked defense in the league. 29th.
Right,
Okay,
yep.
so that's real low. All right, so when you think about what Kirk Cousins could be for the Jets, I think it all depends on what the Jets mind. Do the Jets think they're good enough to not only go to the playoffs, but to get to the Super Bowl? Because if that's the way you're thinking, and you can buy Kirk Cousins for 1 year, it is a no-brainer.
Yeah.
He will give you the best chance to go get and do this in a year. You got to trust that after this year, if you want Aaron Rodgers back, Cousins go somewhere else, whatever that looks like.
That's the plan.
But it's a buy-in right now. We think we're good enough.
Nobody disagrees with you there. I think Kirk Cousins is the best opportunity or best option. However, you asking for the Vikings to give you the shirt off their back. Now, Jacoby Brissett, he's a shirt in the closet. They might be willing to give you that one because their chest still covered. You asking the Vikings right now to walk into their locker room and say, take off your shirt, we're going to play naked.
Gonna play there.
We're going to send our shirt all the way over there to them because they got a chance.
But if they're
you know what that message is to your locker room? Y'all ain't got a chance.
But if you're 0-3, if you're 0-3,
we get naked. We 0-3, we get naked.
It's got to be way after that. They're going to have to be like 1-5. I get that part of it, but all the Jets who were supporting Zach Wilson and all that kind of stuff, but God bless him, let me be wrong. I would give nothing, I would give anything to be wrong.
Gee, I
they had a mutiny last year with that kid on the field.
I said on the set and said, I feel terrible for him.
Yeah.
I feel terrible for Zach Wilson.
He doesn't belong out there.
He don't belong out there right now.
I'm up against the bottom of an hour. We'll come back and do this some more as we continue with the Steel City Slog. Why Pittsburgh fans are so unhappy.
Chào mừng các bạn đã quay trở lại với kênh YouTube của mình. Video ngày hôm nay mình sẽ cắt rán về con chuột để gửi tặng đến các bạn. Mình mong rằng mọi người xem video thì đừng quên ấn like và ấn đăng ký kênh để ủng hộ mình, để mình tiếp tục lấy động lực ra video. Cảm ơn các bạn rất nhiều.
Thank you.